Hello, this is theory lesson number 2. This has to do with the timing of notes, which can seem a little mathematical, but once you get used to it, it's not math at all. You just got used to counting, all right? No math at all. You do have to be able to count up to 4, but that's not really math. Counting is, you can do it when you're generally 2 or something. I don't know. But anyway, on the top next to me, there's just a little chart here, and it's a little confusing. This chart only is for 4/4 time, which I'll explain in a moment. But it's just showing you, okay, the top one, here's a whole note. You can tell a whole note. It's just round. It's a circle. And then the next one down is a half note. It's a circle too, but it is got a line on it. And then the quarter note. Now it's a circle too, but now we color it in. It's black, and it's got a line on it. So if you look at the top, it's a little confusing, but in 4/4 time, the whole note is 4 counts. The half note only takes 2 counts, 2 beats, which way you want to look at it. The quarter note will take 1 beat each, so there's actually 4 in a bar. And what I mean by a bar is these things. All right, the things between the lines. That's how music is divided. Okay, so this thing called the time signature over here, it's right here. It is. It's 4/4 time, and what that means, the top one is saying there's going to be 4 quarter notes per bar, and you see it clearly here. 4 quarter notes per bar. Now there's only 2 half notes because they go twice as long, and 1 whole note because it takes up 4 beats. All right, that's all it's really saying. Okay, so what does 4/4 sound like? Well, it's pretty simple. I put together a drum track actually to let you hear the basic beats. Okay, that's how it sounds. 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. It just continues on and on like that, and that's 4/4 time. It's probably the most common time signature you're ever going to see. And those are probably the most common notes you're going to see, particularly the quarter note, maybe the half note. All right, going on to the next one down though. Okay, now this is 2/4 time. And just as I mentioned, the time signature here, which you'll see at the start of every clef, is saying in a bar you're going to have 2 quarter notes. So you see it right here, only 2 quarter notes in a bar, and only 1 half note now in a bar because it's 2 beats. 2 quarter notes, 2 beats. Okay, that's not too tricky either, really. What does it sound like? It's sort of like 4/4, but it's not really. Let's listen to it. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, that's how it goes. Very simple. That's usually used for faster dances, say a polka, something like that. You can speed it up and you notice it right there. Very similar to 4/4 time, but it doesn't have a whole note in it, obviously, because you can't fit a note into a bar that's bigger than the bar. This is worth 4 beats. It can't fit here. I'll show you how it can be done a little bit later. It's a little tricky. But for the meantime, just remember, 2/4 time, you have 2 quarter notes per bar. Okay? Onward. Let's check this out. Now, this is even a little bit crazier. Now, 3/4 time. Guess what might be happening? This is a 3. I know it didn't draw it too good. That's a 3, and there's a 4. So it's saying there are 3 quarter notes to the bar. That's 3 time. Okay? Still, the half note gets 2 beats, and then there is a third one there, 1 beat. What does this sound like? Okay, 3/4 time. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Okay, this is more commonly used in, for example, the most common use for 3/4 time is the waltz, which was a very famous dance form at one time. There are still country waltzes. The waltz is still around, but that is the most obvious form of 3/4 time. All right, I will explain this little dot here in just a moment, but I wanted to just explain a little bit down here. This is, again, a nasty little 3, but I made 3/8 times just so you can understand that there are some different ways of doing 3 time signatures. Now, if you notice under the quarter note on the top chart, the next one down is an 8th note. And it's got a little hook on it, right? It's not like a quarter note. It's got a hook to say it's even half the length of a quarter note, all right? And if you even look further down, if you want to tie them together, you'll see I have 2/8 notes, all right? But 3/8 time is not used very much at all, actually. It's actually the same thing as 3/4 time. But what I wanted to show is that you can do that. You can have 3/8 notes in a bar as long as it all counts to 3. See, in this case now, the quarter note's worth 2, and you have the 8th note's worth 1. All right. Now, what I'm going to show you next, and I'm probably going to draw this because it makes it a little easier here. I showed you there's a note on the top there with a dot after it. Okay? This is a dotted half note, all right? Now, what does that mean? The dot means it actually adds half the value. So what you're getting here is a dotted half note is the half note plus what is a half note? You're getting a quarter note. So what does that all entail? There you're getting 3 beats to the bar, right? 2 here for the half note and 1. So what did we say before? There it is, the dotted half note, 3 beats, all right? Okay, and the dotted 8th note would be the same. There's also such a thing called the dotted quarter note, which was on the second thing. So what do you think that means? Well, it's a quarter note plus what's a half note? There we are, the 8th note. So what is that actually? Really quite confusing. You got 1 beat plus a half. So that's 1.5 beats. Little bit strange, but you'll get used to it. Don't think of math. It's just a matter of counting, okay? The math you don't have to think about. Oh, hello, birds. Okay? So anyway, you'll just get used to the fact that the half note is a little one with a stick on it. The whole note, of course, you know, you had this one. All right, last thing I want to talk to you about is in a bar, you'll sometimes see, okay, I'll just draw some lines, very sketchy here. All right, say that you wanted to have 2 whole notes. You wanted 8 counts, all right? You can't put that in a bar generally. So what you do here, you take 2 whole notes, and guess what? You can tie these 2 together, all right? And you could do that with anything, any 2 notes, all right? Okay, 2 quarter notes. You know, you usually won't see that too often, all right? You can tie those together. They're just connected, all right? You wouldn't usually see this too often unless they were separated by a bar because 2 quarter notes together is a half note. But anyway, I don't want to seem too mathematical about this. I just wanted to get the basic idea of timing. You'll notice I added on the top chart 16th notes. That can go on forever. You can get notes that, you know, you just keep adding stems. All right? So you got an 8th note, a 16th, a 32nd, a 64th. You can go crazy. They just get to be smaller and smaller. But for the most part, the first lessons in piano, all we're going to be using the whole note, the half note, the quarter note, probably 4/4 and 3/4 time. And we'll just advance from there. Just want you to know, though, there's all kinds of things about timing in music, and yeah, it's not math. Until now, that was theory lesson number 2. Thank you.